Hello, welcome back to Billy Ho's Sports. Huge weekend of racing. I can't say it enough. We're going back up to the Big A at Aqueduct, and we're going to tackle that mandatory payout late Big Five races 7 through 11. So we're going to get it done. Sort of a big-ish announcement. I'm gearing up to start doing some live streaming. I've upgraded my internet package. So I want your input. Those of you who listen to all the time, which day of the week? It's going to be somewhere in the mid to late week, like a Wednesday, Thursday, probably not Friday, but like maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, more like Wednesday, Thursday. I want to be kind of later in the week, but I'm going to do a live stream on the weekend's races coming up, like for Derby and things of that nature. So just wanted to see which day of the week you guys like to watch content the most, and that will be all I'll ask for that. Anyway, let me know in the comments. Also, don't forget the comment sections of the big races, the big three races, Bluegrass, Wood Memorial, and Santa Anita Derby. Be the first to correctly pick the winner in the comment section, and you will receive a vintage Derby glass. I sent mine off today to Mr. Pantera. Rock on, Kevin. Your glass is on the way, and you must be a subscriber. So I appreciate you, and let me know that you did subscribe. I love to hear that too. So thanks a lot for that. Hit that like button while you're at it. And also, just a little quick nugget for this video today. If you're one of those loyal listeners that like to stick around for my final analysis and you see those late pick five tickets, we are going to spin the wheel for a bonus Derby glass. So let's get after it. Uh, Caveat also, it's not, I don't think it's going to be anything like it is going to be here beginning tonight. Pray for us so we don't get blown away tonight when the bad weather comes, because I hate when it comes late at night like this. But anyway, right now, 95% chance of rain Saturday at Aqueduct. So we're going to try to plan for some slop, but be ready to adjust on the fly. Windy too, actually, I looked it up. And I think it's going to be 15, maybe gusty up to 30. And if Chat GPT is any accurate at all, that at the break you're gonna see a tailwind, and then but you're gonna be against the wind down the stretch. So if take that for what it's worth, all the horses have to run in the same conditions. So I don't know how that'll play out one way or the other. So we're gonna jump right into past performances with race 7. So let's get done. Race 7 is a 7 furlong, the Distaff. It's a grade 3 for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up. So, kick-ass sprint to start us off here with the pick 5, and the track bias looks like we want early speed. Obviously, sprints, you want those early presser types. The wire percentage is higher, so things of that nature. But the rail is not a bad post either. As you see, number 1 Irish Maxima, and the rail is winning at it says 19% clip. So 18% shipper is John Service, which is always nice that he ships horses in for a reason. Sharp workout, early speed, all the things we like, except the poor graded stakes trainer record, no wins and 15 starts. So that's tough, but maybe he's due. But I'll have my eye on that one. Her 93 in the debut, it seems to be on par with the form cycle. She ran a huge 109 right here in the Miss Claus at Parks, but a lot of these are at Parks and Laurel and Delaware. So I tend to look at them as a little less classier, and that's no offense to anybody if that's your favorite place. That's just kind of how I see it. Uh, Number 2 Sea Dancer moved off the turf when Brittany Russell took over the training. 2 for 2 dirt sprinting so far. Nice numbers here, 97, 95. Hike up in class, but there are probably worse choices out there. This one would probably be a pretty good one. I mean, you got probably the top jockey at Aqueduct right now, Manny Franco, riding too. So it's probably going to draw some money. Sea Dancer is, but if you want to use underneath, I'm not really sure if she's going to make the ticket or not. Ocean Gateway did not make the ticket, so we're going to speed up here a little bit and talk about the next two, which St. Benedict's Prep. 2 close seconds at Aqueduct. Her last effort, she had a hard time in this last effort. I believe I think it's this one that she missed by a nose. Lascano just could not get her. He was shaking her up down the stretch, and then she finally straightened out and dug in deep, and she damn near got there, but it was just a little bit. She just ran out of real estate, to be honest. So if he can get her going just a little bit earlier, St. Benedict's Prep is going to be a dangerous horse. She also, previous to that in this race, took scale or no, here it is down here. Was looking for Aqueduct starts at Aqueduct, same distance, same race. These are the ones I like to look at. Took Scalable to the end right here, and Scalable I have much respect for as an older female sprinter type. So all good there. And I actually this one here looks good. Uh, St. Benedict Prep. She was socially selective and was third in that race, but was a little bit further back. But previous to that, at Gulfstream, she was right there with Mystic Lake. Mystic Lake is a very high level filly mare sprinter. So those two are really going to be your two chalky choices, so to speak. But then I am going to be looking at, we're going to start, and I'm throwing in the extra one, Iris Maxima, just in case. I don't know if, but the numbers are there. And first in prime power and the gate, the rail post, I can't pass that up. You don't want to blow it in the first race if you can afford to do 3 deep. So we're going 1-4-5. Now we're jumping over to race 8, and that one is another 7 furlong sprint. It's an allowance for state breds, so your speed figures here are not going to be the par. These are subpar speed horses, so to speak. But somebody's got to win, right? So I didn't really care too much for the first two. Brick Ambush, no thanks. Trust Fund I looked at closely for second because it's Todd Pletcher and Dylan Davis, so I thought it would be interesting, but the speed's just not there. So I'm not going to trust Fund, so to speak. Number 5, Stewie. Stewie just said that. Stewie is my favorite character on Family Guy, but not my favorite horse in this race. I do like James Begg. He's adding a bit more distance, and I don't know if that'll help or hurt. Sometimes just because they weakened at 6 doesn't mean they're going to weaken at 7. So he may like to try the 7 distance to see what happens. But Stewie going to fall just short of making the ticket. But Crimson Light, this one is extremely interesting. Had one of the wildest, most impressive debuts of a horse I've ever seen for Todd Pletcher last year on January 7th, and I'm showing you the replay. This horse broke from the gate out of the one post, reared up, slammed into the side of the rail. Then Carmouche brilliantly gets the horse back together and doesn't give up on the horse. Look at these numbers: 23 links back, 12 links back, 8 links back, and he swung like to the 12 path. He went off the screen when they swung around for the turn home. And then he came, but you can see if you watch the one horse slowly moving up the scale on the bottom underneath there, and then all of a sudden he comes in the picture and gets up by a head at the end. But then we don't see him. So I don't know if if there was injury or training issues, or maybe the horse is just very difficult to train. But he didn't race at all the rest of the year. And then that was his 3-year-old, and now he's making his 4-year-old debut over a year later. So that's a real tough call, but does have the sharp work, and was just seems like a real City of Light colt. I mean, just really strong and a strong bullet gate work right here. So the gate work in 59, that's pretty fast for a gate work. So I think this horse might be ready to pop. So I'm not leaving him off, because the only other horse I had any interest in was St. Gaudens. And this one was, of course, running a ton of state breds, but really, really strong, going a mile and now cutting back to 7. And this right here, even though this says fast for the track conditions, it was not. It was in a blizzard, snowstorm, and the track was sloppy. And he ran very good, the 4-year-old colt, chasing a very hot pace. ran very evenly, made an inside move in the stretch, but just couldn't find the gas pedal. So maybe Rosario makes a difference. Rosario's 28% right now. So Chad Brown, I mean, you can't go wrong there. So those are the two I'm playing. I'm going 6 and 8 in leg two. I did look at 10 Nunzio for a second, but I think the speed's a little down. So I'm going to leave that one off. And now we're going to go up to race number 9. And this is the Gazelle. This is the 3-year-olds going a mile and an eighth. So we need to find out who's going to win this race. And I've got a single for you in this race. So we're going to save some money here. And basically I went through here. Ballerina d'Oro, Chad Brown, Dylan Davis. I had this one picked on Rebel Day at Fairgrounds. Was that the Rachel? I think that was the Rachel. But she scratched out with a fever. She did come back and run in this Devonadale grade 2, and you see that she did only just run third, but she stalked and had a late gain. The Queen's MG, poor thing, finally got back on track. Queen's MG did, but she went in her next race completely flopped. I think that was the oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. I forgot the race, but she had to be pulled up and vanned off, so I didn't check her status, but she's probably off the Oaks Trail. But anyway, Ballerina d'Oro, I think, is in for a big race, and I'm taking her as my single. She's just the best horse. I think I looked at the 4 early on briefly for Safi. She's one to consider. Second in the Virginia Oaks, nice closing effort on a speed bias track. And of course, Deloraine. But stop me if you heard this before. Owen Hardy is taking a horse from turf to dirt in a prep race, like he did with 2 different horses for the boys in Poster and First Resort. So does he still have the magic? I don't know, but I'm not gonna. It'll cost me if I don't. But nobody else. Liam in the Dust, I don't think is as good. I can forgive this race, but Liam got left in the dust in the previous race by rivals in this race. I mean Muhima. I mean Ballerina Dory. I mean I was really high on Muhima, even though she lost recently, but she was right there with it. Ballerina d'Oro right there with it in the Demicel. So I do like me some 2-horse. So moving on. And this is going to be our final leg, the Excelsior. No, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Jumping the gun here, guys. 7 furlong Carter. Another 7 furlong sprint. Now, this one is going to be interesting. Crazy Mason is, I won't lie, I like this horse. Probably just a little bit outclassed, but has dropped back down and got some confidence. Maybe just got some confidence crushed here in the Sam F. Davis and the Tampa Bay last year, and then just wasn't really too much into it, just average finishes, and then finally dropped in, made the debut. So maybe he's matured. 4-year-old gray too. Good looking gray horse. Back to back wins. That's with Elliott and Cancel. And now we're going to get Manny Franco, and we're going to get Rail Post at 19% clip. I'm using Crazy Mason. I'm hoping for some value. 8th in prime power. Now, Quince Brew, I thought maybe there's a Jaws reference in there somewhere, but I'm not really sure about that one. Somebody can comment and tell me that. Huge numbers, but this was state bred. And this one is just a listed 200K. Nice win, good numbers, but I don't think that he's going to hang. Now, this is where we get the chalk. We have the 3 Surveillance, the 4 Full Moon Madness. Surveillance is a serious sprinter, Linda Rice. Old Gray busted his ass down the stretch trying to keep up with Full Moon Madness in this tomfoolery right here. You can see 8-year-old Gelding Gray, Roan, right here. 109, huge numbers running second. So Full Moon Madness gets a 111 for that race. And I mean, that race they were humming around the Aqueduct track. And I just like horses better that have all this experience at Aqueduct. Tons of experience, firsts and seconds, horse for course all day. And this one, the Big A, Aqueduct, second, second, second. So those two are your chalks, and I'm throwing in Crazy Mason. So we're going 1, 3, 4 in leg 4. And now we're going to get to quite the fun race. I guess I was jumping the gun because I'm kind of excited about it, but it is race 11, the Excelsior. Mile and a quarter classic distance, older horses, uh, just looking good. And you can see Crouppy is the number one in prime power. So we've got some horses to talk about, some familiar names. Of course, Film Star, but I'm not going to get to Film Star. Seem to have some pop back in the day a little bit, but not so much anymore for me. Uh, Classic Catch puts blinkers on for Todd Pletcher, but I think I'll pass it on that one. Batten Down. This one's interesting. Hell of a run last summer for Bill Mott. Burst onto the scene, if you remember this Ohio Derby, where he just got the drop on everybody and then didn't look back, ran a plus 14, plus 9, then ran a quality third place finish behind Fierceness and Sierra Leone. If you remember that stretch drive, he was right there and he actually lugged into Sierra Leone a bit down the stretch, flexing his muscles. But then he got a little bit over his skis in the Travers, but he still finished fifth. I mean, you can see Fierceness, Torpedo Anna, Sierra Leone. I mean, come on, that's the running against the A squad right there. Now he drops down to the B squad and the C squad, and he hits the fifth at Churchill Downs in the Bourbon, and then comes up to Aqueduct. I don't care much for his one shot at Aqueduct last year. Wasn't a good result where he just faded away. But then it comes out in the mine shaft. This was a pretty good fourth, actually. Hall of Fame won the race. Como Beaner, Omodi, Maycox Bay ran third. It was a really quality grade 3 race. So I think maybe he needed that one just to get a little bit in shape. That was just going a mile and 16th. You can see the 7.6 average win distance for the son of Tappet. Joel Rosario aboard Juddamont horse. I'm using it. And then I'm using this one. It's Crouppy. We're going to end it right here. I don't even want to show you the rest of them. Todd Pletcher, Dylan Davis. We love Crouppy. I mean, he's not scared to run in any race against anybody. Was much better last year. You know, with these suburban grade 2, you can see how much better. And then the second in the Whitney was probably one of his better performances of his career, even though it wasn't a winning effort. But Arthur's Ride stole the show that day. But he was right there down the stretch. He cleaned up the mess, so to speak, and then plummeted after the break, the mini break. But those were muddy tracks, off tracks. Then the Clark wasn't all that rattle and roll. Just didn't really get the pace he needed to close. And then had some disqualification, got tangled up right here in the stretch. Then ran against White Barrio. This was way over your head. This is like running in the Breeders' Cup Classic for for the poor man's division or something. I don't know, but I mean it's a classic race with nothing but Locked and Skippy and White Barrio. Then he drops into the grade 3 Razorback. This one here was kind of disappointing. Saved ground, no late kick, but you could see the -6, -4 at Oaklawn Park, and we've been bragging about Oaklawn Park being a speed favoring track. So he just got no love that day and just didn't have it. He is by Curlin, obviously, 5-year-old. This horse, I think, Rapoli Stables has a shot to win this race. I think that it comes down to two different things. Is batten down, the pace is hot and Crouppy can close to win, or the pace is not hot and batten down wins. So I'm going leg 5, 3, 4. Okay, well, it's weird not including the feature race in the pick 5, but remember to go check out that preview video and do not forget your picks for those 3 races. So to round things out, we go leg 1, race 7. We are going 1 Irish Maxima, 4 St. Benedict's Prep, 5 Socially Selective. 1, 4, 5, race 8, going 2 deep with number 6 Crimson Light, number 8 St. Gaudens. Number 9 is that Gazelle where we got the 2 Ballerino d'Oro singled. Then race 10 is where I hope to maybe get some good odds on Crazy Mason and maybe he upsets. 1 Crazy Mason, 3 Surveillance, and 4 Full Moon Magnus. Race 11 rounds us out, and that's the one we just talked about. So 3 batting down, 4 Croupy, and that is a $36 ticket. Congratulations, Lane Wilkerson, on your Derby Glass winner. Email me at billyah35@yahoo.com with your address, and I will get one out to you ASAP. Congratulations. And that's all for today. Thanks for watching. See you soon.